Welcome back, everyone. Dr. Perry Bush with us from Bluffton University, talking about the situation in Ukraine and the month-old invasion by the Russians. We were talking a little bit about the fact that the President Biden's been traveling over, and he's in Poland today. Talk a little bit, if you could, about the refugees and the fact that we're taking in at least 100,000. Seems like there's a real, across the world, across the globe, countries willing to do this and help out as much as they can.
Yeah, it's incredible, the international response, especially the Europeans. I mean, the Poles have proved to be a remarkable ally. They had not been close. They'd had this really difficult president, and he's reveling in his international moment. And so Biden's going to meet with him today in the Polish city of Rzeszów, which is not far off from the Ukrainian border, to deal with the humanitarian crisis. President Biden announced yesterday we're going to give another $1 billion in aid in humanitarian crisis. And, you know, we need to talk once again, Jeff, what this is meaning for the people of Ukraine. About 10 million Ukrainians have been displaced from their homes, 4.3 million of them children, which is half the children of Ukraine. You know, we know children like security. We understand that, of course, any of us who've raised children know they like to feel secure. And you can't imagine the emotional impact, the trauma this is inflicting on the people of Ukraine, especially the children of Ukraine. Even if they're sheltered from the scenes that, you know, we're witnessing right now on your video feed, it's horrific what is happening, of course. The people of Mariupol, this major city on the Sea of Azov, near the Black Sea, have been shelled constantly, cut off from water and food for weeks now. The death rates are escalating. People are burying bodies in the public parks. And Putin, of course, is eager to move along the Sea of Azov to take the Black Sea coast. His next target would be Mykolaiv, and then the great Ukrainian port city of Odessa. But, you know, actually, Jeff, the Russian offensive has been stymied. At best for the Russians, it's a stalemate, and none of us could have seen this happening when the war started a month ago. So, yeah, it's horrific suffering among the people of Ukraine. And also, by the way, for Russia, I don't know the kind of casualty rates that you're seeing. I'm seeing, reading that, upwards of 7,000 or 10,000 Russian soldiers have been killed so far in a month of war. And you compare that's nearly the total they lost in 10 years of war in Chechnya. You know, so you think about the suffering that the Russians are undergoing. And the Ukrainians have proved to be much better militarily and much more resistant fighters and fervent nationalists than I think much of the world, and certainly Putin, had expected.
Fears then that Putin will up the game to chemical weapons?
That is one of the real fears circulating now. I mean, they say the chances are still small. But, I mean, if you're Putin, you can talk all the macho talk you want, but in reality, the war is not going as you envisioned. Russian soldiers are being stymied. That great big convoy, 40-mile convoy of Russian troops and trucks approaching Kyiv from the northwest. Well, it's been sitting there for 3 weeks, and soldiers have been living in their cars in sub-zero temperatures for 3 weeks. They're suffering from frostbite, and they're deserting. And so the fear, of course, is Putin is, you know, what did I read? Thomas Friedman in the New York Times, a weak Putin is even more dangerous than a powerful Putin. And he's a weak and cornered Putin now. And so, you know, you got NATO and the United States have both assembled special task forces talking about what to do if he goes the nuclear route or the chemical weapons route. Apparently, the Russians have specialized in building smaller, quote, tactical battlefield nukes, right, that they might resort to, but that would be a horrific, nightmarish game changer for the entire world. You know, nukes have always been, you know, you don't go there. That is the non-thinking. You can't think about even that as a non-option. And to have then smaller tactical nuclear weapons brought into a combat, Jeff, the potential repercussions of that are just horrifying. For the Europeans, of course, for the Ukrainians, most of all, but the entire world then is at risk.
Yeah, we'll certainly see how it goes. It's hard to fathom that it's actually gone on this long, and that you do kind of feel like your hands are tied if you're the rest of the country so far. But we do appreciate your insight. Next time we'll try to chat a little bit about it. You've got some personal contacts there as well. Thank you, Dr. Bush. We really appreciate it.
It's good to be here, Jeff.
Nice talking with you. We'll be back right after this.